This soft life trend, living with ease, luxury, and no stress, sounds like a dream. But the truth is, soft life might actually be the very thing that's holding you back from achieving your dream life. Especially if you're ambitious and passionate, but you can easily get trapped in a cycle of laziness. Soft life got to me too, not gonna lie, in the past years, especially after the pandemic. I think so many people were done with life, and soft life was the very thing that everybody embraced. It became a trend, just like the main character energy trend. Main character energy, I love. Soft life, not so much. I'm a person who values hard work and dedication. That's what got me to a place where I'm in Los Angeles, living my dream life, doing my dream career as a screenwriter. But also hard work and dedication got me into studying engineering in the most prestigious university in my country. This was all very hard work and crazy dedication. When my cousin and I sit down, for example, he always tells me how he remembers me working all day and night. Whenever he visited, I would just study upstairs in my room. But when soft life got to me after the pandemic, my entire world crashed. I started being more depressed, not working enough, not doing enough. I stopped creating, which now led me to create this podcast, by the way, because I don't want anyone to get trapped in that cycle of laziness. So let me get you out. At its core, what this soft life or laziness trends are promoting is the dream of having all your needs met effortlessly, living in luxury and avoiding all the hard work and hustle. Take care of yourself first is one of the quotes, and I do agree with that. But that doesn't mean avoiding the things that you have to do in order to achieve your goals, because sometimes we have a goal and that goal we would very much like to have, but the steps that we have to do to get there, some steps we might like, but most of them we might hate. It might be like, I want to be thin, so I have to go to the gym, I have to eat healthy. Are they fun? No. But am I going to be happy when I'm thin? Yes. Similarly, you can't sit in a meditation pose, breathe deeply, and imagine a million people following you. If your social media is completely quiet and nothing is happening, you can't get that. Similarly, you can't lose weight if you don't work for it. So don't fall into the trap of manifestation. And I'm saying this as someone who's deeply spiritual. Those people who tell you that you gotta think and it'll happen, they are totally lying to you. Let me tell you what I think. And I think this is like science, my engineering side meets my screenwriting, creative, spiritual side. Manifestation at its core is brainwashing yourself into believing that it is possible. And then taking the necessary action becomes easier because you already saw yourself achieving it in your mind. Now you get that courage to do it in real life. What these visualization and manifestation methods do to you is they tear down the walls you've built around that goal. It's like you kept telling yourself that it's impossible, and then you visualize yourself holding that thing that you think is impossible, and then it becomes slowly possible in your mind. Those walls around that goal are built by the deeply rooted fears, but we'll get there. So by visualizing your goal enough times in your mind, you make yourself believe that it is possible for you to get there, and taking action becomes way easier. It's not a magical thing that you do where you imagine and poof, it appears in physical life. There is no such a thing. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if there was such a thing, we would all know about it because that's crazy. And I'm not saying this to hurt you or disregard all the research done on our minds. Our mind is definitely very powerful. It can make you a millionaire, that's for sure. Or it can make you stuck in a cycle of endless poverty. So be careful with what you do with your mind. Be careful with what you're consuming on social media. I know you love watching those soft girl aesthetic videos. I know you love your clean TikTok or soft life morning routine videos, but you have to ask yourself, is this motivating me to get to where I want to be? Is this helping me? If the answer is yes, great. Then there's definitely something in there that's calling you about your own passion, and it's a sign that maybe you want to be that type of a creator. I don't know. But most of the time, the answer is no. Scrolling endlessly and watching people be lazy or promoting endless products, it really doesn't get you anywhere other than being broke because you got influence and got so much shit that you don't need. We're going to talk about that in another episode. But at its core, all that content that you're consuming, it promotes laziness. So laziness is all about fear. You avoid taking action because you're scared of something. Then you justify it by using soft life trends or excuses or whatever you say to yourself. But you gotta ask yourself, am I afraid of achieving my goals? What am I scared about? Am I scared to lose maybe certain people in my life when I get to my dream life? Am I scared of how people will see me or judge me? Am I scared to be seen? Which is something I have struggled with a lot, especially as a writer. When you write a story with deeply emotional characters or something erotic, let's say, people are very quick to point fingers at you, like, oh, that must be something you feel. Yeah, what a big realization. Yes, I do. So I put it in my story. What a weird thing to... Anyways, if you're new here, by the way, I'm a screenwriter based in Los Angeles and I am dedicated to drastically upgrade my life. That's why this podcast is called The Upgrade by Sedaniore. If this is resonating with you, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stick around because by the end of this year, I swear so much is gonna change for both of us. And keep watching because I'm gonna get you out of the cycle of laziness quicker than anything else. So I get that you have certain fears around the goals that you want to achieve. There's even research about fear of losing weight because so many people have this fear of being visible once they lose weight. The fear of being seen once you're healthy and fit. It's mind-blowing to read about these things, but that's what keeps you stuck in your current lazy lifestyle. Not only are you stuck in a comfort zone, but you're also stuck in this cycle of laziness that doesn't get you anywhere due to a certain fear that you have to overcome in order to achieve your goal. If you can't pinpoint that fear, by the way, you cannot get out of the cycle. So how do we get out of the cycle? Because once you realize that laziness is rooted in fear, it's easy to see how it's holding you back. But you can't break free unless you understand how this cycle works. So let's take a look at this simple flow diagram that I created. It's called the Cycle of Laziness, and we're going to walk through this together. So there's this initial ambition to do something. You start off with big dreams, excitement, and all this passion to make things happen. You want a better life and you're ready for the change. So you listen to podcasts like this one. You watch motivational videos and make a game plan. You literally plan that entire thing. Maybe you make a vision board. But then comes the deeply rooted fear. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I put in all this effort and it doesn't work out? This fear is often what makes you freeze or hesitate to take that first step to actually start doing things that'll help you get to your goal. So what do? We avoid. Maybe you scroll through Instagram, TikTok, or binge watch something. Maybe you have an addiction that you keep going back to. And maybe you're scrolling or sleeping and you think you're resting, but you're actually avoiding the work. And then comes the, of course, justifications on social media, lazy and soft life trends. And you convince yourself that it's okay for now, but it doesn't solve the problem. At this point, you feel comfortable, which takes us to comfort zone. But deep down, you know you're not making any progress that you told yourself you were going to do. The comfort feels really good. So you stay in this zone and you, again, justify it by watching comforting TikToks, watching creators promoting soft life and laziness, and you trick yourself into thinking that this is okay. I am okay. This is good. We live life only once is another thing that everybody tells themselves. Oh, it's okay. We come here only once. I'm going to order pizza and sit on the couch all day. So this gives you a temporary relief. You feel good for a while because you're avoiding the stress of doing this crazy hard work. And all these creators are feeding your delusion of living a soft life and not taking any action. But this relief doesn't last, because then you eventually start regretting your action. Maybe this happens to you every week. Maybe it happens to you every year in December when you realize that it's the end of the year and you didn't achieve any of your New Year's resolutions, and then you make New Year's resolutions again and then you forget all about them. The scale shows the same weight. Your bank account is crying. You didn't write that book you wanted to write. Whatever it is, you look back and you realize that you did not take any action to achieve that goal. So in the cycle of laziness, this is the point where you start to beat yourself up, and the cycle starts all over again with that same fear holding you back, and you are now stuck in that cycle. So something to remember is, if you can notice the fear that's holding you back, you can actually move through it and move with it. I'm not saying you're going to magically overcome the fear and you're never going to have this fear again, because that's not realistic. Whatever that fear is, it's going to keep coming up no matter what and no matter where you're in life. Even people who made it, they talk about their fear of being seen, their imposter syndrome. There are so many singers who are very scared of stage, and that's a part of their job, but they do it. So the fears continue, and honestly, you don't want to aim for being fearless, because fear is a natural part of growth. If you had zero fear, it would mean you're not pushing yourself. Fear only has power over you if you let it stop you. But if you see it as just another sign that you're leaving your comfort zone, just another sign that you're leveling up and growing, you can use it as a fuel instead of letting it hold you back. And this is coming from me, who fears a lot of things. I fear going to a restaurant that I've never been to before. Like, that's a fear I have, just deeply rooted inside of me. But I go anyway. I used to fear going and eating out alone. Now I do it all the time. I love it. And I have a boyfriend of 6 years, by the way. But sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to have breakfast alone over at that place. And I do it. So finally, I learned to take action despite that fear. And, even this YouTube channel, I've been posting since February 2024. I was on and off since 2020 because I had a lot of fear of not being relevant. I don't know, that's a fear I have. Does anybody else have that fear of being irrelevant? Interesting. But that discomfort, which comes from the deeply rooted fear, it never really goes away. You always feel that. Whenever you're posting, you're like, oh, this is so bad. Or like, I'm so irrelevant. What am I talking about? But I've realized that the more I push through it, the quieter it gets. It's like a muscle. The more you train yourself to take action despite the fear, the less control it has over you. And waiting for the fear to disappear so that you can start is a total trap. Don't do that. It will never go away. If I had kept waiting to feel ready, I wouldn't have posted a single video on this channel, and I wouldn't have written a single script, and I wouldn't be where I am right now. So instead of trying to silence the fear completely, I've learned to work with it, and I really need you to learn to work with it too, because that's where it's gonna get better. So you have to acknowledge it, but not let it dictate your life. And that's what actually builds confidence. Not waiting for the fear to fade, but providing to yourself that you can show up even when it's there. I'm aware that this laziness isn't just something personal. It actually comes from the way our society is set up. Especially right now, we don't have to do hard work to get a dopamine hit. We don't have to hunt or gather or even put in too much effort to survive. Basic needs are already met. You want food? Boom, it's on your doorstep in like 10 minutes. You want something random at 2 a.m.? Amazon it. Everything is just so easy. And I'm not saying as if that's a bad thing. It is good. But when everything is instantly accessible, we start losing the joy of actually doing things, like working hard to get somewhere. And social media, by the way, with soft life and laziness, they just love validating every excuse you could possibly make. If you try to challenge those excuses, people will literally slap a label on you, like toxic, hustle culture, fat phobia. Like, no, I'm just saying, if you're miserable, maybe do something about it instead of sitting around all day, which is something everybody should tell each other. Like, hey, you need to get out of this cycle. This is not healthy. And, come on. I've literally had 2 people in my life in these past weeks who told me to stop giving them advice because they just want to complain and they just want me to listen, and then they will feel better. That's what they said. And I respect it. I'm like, okay, that's what you want to do. That's what you get. But in my mind, I'm a bit annoyed because you don't want to grow. You just want to stay in the same spot, being frustrated about the same things. And the wild part is, I'm now supposed to encourage it by listening and being like, oh, poor you. Yeah, keep spiraling. You're doing great. Oh, that is very sad. Like encouraging those feelings. That's what people expect at this point. Oh, poor you. Everything is so hard for you. So sad. I don't want to do that. I did that to myself. And that was really, really bad. And with one of my friends, I actually stopped encouraging them to post on social media. I literally gave up because they're so talented, but the excuses are just insane. I try to help them to get out of this scarcity mindset, like, everything is hard. Oh, I need this to post. I need that. No, you don't need anything. You just have to start. You don't need to invest. You don't need to do anything. But I'm fine now. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get that energy back and put it into myself instead. I'm going to encourage myself because I'm the one who's showing up and not them. And you really have to realize that. Okay, I also have trouble recognizing this. But we both have to wake up and be like, wait, I think I'm encouraging the wrong person. They're not gonna, they're just stuck there. What can I do? So this is your reminder. If you made it this far, you cannot convince everyone to take action. Some people just aren't ready. And when they come on this side of YouTube and social media, they will recognize that, oh, they've been stuck. But you guys, you clicked on this video, which means you are ready to take that action. We are ready for that change. We are ready to take action. We are looking at our vision boards and we're like, this is what I deserve. And I have all these fears, but I'm gonna do it despite those fears. Don't let fear stop you, and don't let social media feed your delusions and excuses. I also, this is a sensitive topic, but I've been overweight for over 3 years. I just started my fitness journey. I lost, I think 7 kgs so far. And I let social media tell me that me being overweight was okay. It wasn't healthy. I even had a friend who said, oh girl, doctors say that, but they're just lying. You're fine as you are. And I really made myself feed that delusion. The result is fatty liver. And I realized, oh, I have diabetes in my genes because all my family had it. So maybe I should calm down. Maybe I should not enjoy so hard. And I should maybe take charge of my own health. And that is really important to realize. Don't let social media feed your delusions and excuses, because I also let that happen. So if you're serious about success and achieving your goals, stop waiting for things to magically fall into place. The soft life isn't gonna hand you your dream career, your financial freedom, or your best self and your healthy self. You have to take control, and only you can do that, by the way. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's gonna hand you your dream career, here you go. Oh, you are discovered now, but you haven't done anything. People get discovered because they've been doing something. That person who you think made it overnight actually was doing so many independent projects and so many things for years. I know people, 50, 60-year-old screenwriters who just break in. And they are doing this for over 30, 40 years. So this is very important. You have to push past the comfort zone and show up for yourself every single day. And remember that your future self is literally waiting for you to take action, because every action you take today shapes the person you are becoming. So are you going to let comfort win today, or are you going to take action and take that first step toward the life that you actually want? Leave a comment below and tell me one thing you're gonna do today to get out of your comfort zone, and I'll respond to all of you. By the way, leave an advice, because unlike my friends, hopefully you will take advantage of my tough love advice and all these videos that I'm making, because I really want to motivate people to get up and do that thing. Even if you fail, even if you have a day where it wasn't how you wanted it, it's okay. Did you take one step? Great. Now take 2 steps the next day. Keep it moving, keep it going. Even though you have days where you're very down, it's okay. It's all right. I don't want to say don't be hard on yourself, because be hard on yourself. Sometimes we need that. We need to look at it and be like, I am doing that thing where I'm waiting for external validation to write my book or to publish my book, but I can do it on my own. Oh, I'm looking for an external validation to continue to be fat. If you're fat, I don't care. If your goal is not to lose weight, those goal examples are not for you. If you can get this tough love advice on this channel, that means you're literally ready to take action towards your best version. Remember that you literally deserve to achieve all your dreams. Stop holding your own self back, because no one else is holding you back. You are holding yourself back. If you like this episode, go watch the previous episodes. That's where I talk about how you're holding yourself back, and the stories you're feeding yourself is literally not relevant. And you need to get out of your head and into the life that you want to be in. If you watch the whole thing, let's play a little game. I want you to comment "no more fear" down below and really claim it. Okay, no more fear. We are taking action towards the life that we deserve, and we know that we can have that life. Thank you for watching this episode, and as usual, I'll see you next Sunday.